Okay then, so now open up your browser and search for Next.js, and you can find their official documentation on in the nextjs.org. So click their documentation and then go through this docs to create and configure all the important settings regarding the Next.js. So first we are going to create the Next.js. So copy this command and open up your terminal, navigate to your desired folder location, and here I'm going to create a new directory. So mkdir, new directory called travel advisor YouTube, and cd travel advisor YouTube, the project which we created, and paste that command right over here. Right click it and npx create next app at latest and dot slash. In that current folder location, we are going to create this project. So press enter. So this will install all the necessary dependencies like React, React DOM, and all those things in the current folder. Next.js is nothing but it's running top of your React framework. It's very easy and user friendly, just like running a React code in the Next. It's literally easy. So I'm going to teach you everything. So we are going to configure the Chakra UI. By the time it's getting installed, all these dependencies and all those things, let's go ahead and have a look at the Chakra UI. If I search for Chakra UI, you can find their official documentation, their website over here. So click it and click get started, and you can see that what are the applications they are supporting to work with the Chakra UI. So we are not going to work with the React app, we are going to work with the Next.js. So click this. So there are certain steps and installation procedures we need to follow for Next.js. So we are going to do all those things one by one once the project is successfully created. So still it's in the same location. I don't know why. So let me stop it, clear the screen, and rerun the same command again. Okay, it's having some issues. So let me open it. What is that issue? Just a minute. Let me bring my screen in this side. D drive. Let me clear that folder completely and we'll recreate that project one more time. Wait a second. Where is that project? Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Mm, come on. Back projects, Next.js, YouTube. Yep, because of this, it's showing error. Let me close it and let me rerun that command one more time. So that will install all the required dependency. Yep, now it's starting installing the file. Because of my network issue, it's not installed previously. So now it's successfully installing the required dependencies on all those things. Okay, and let's go ahead because we need few API services. For that, I'm going to use the Rapid API to fetch all the required information. So click the Rapid UI API over here. So we need to sign up or log in. So I'm already having an account, so feel free to create an account by using sign up. So if you click the login option, so here you can log in by using Gmail, GitHub, or log Facebook and all those things. In this case, I already finished my 1 month quota for the by using Gmail. Otherwise, you because these there are certain services or paid services. Or if you're not using the paid services, there are very limited services provided by your Rapid API. So in this case, I'm going to go with GitHub. You are feel free and you can sign in by using by Google itself. I'm going to with GitHub. So that will takes me to the Rapid API services over there. So I will create the search for travel advisor. Yeah, this one, travel advisor. This is the API we are going to use. So before getting started to this API services, we need to subscribe to it, otherwise it will not work. So what you need to do is you need to go to the pricing services over here and you need to subscribe for this particular information for basic, without that's a free version. So click subscribe to it, and here If you wish to use more than if you're running more than 500 requests, then you need to go for pro version. You need to pay $20 per month. Okay, so I'm going to stick with the free version itself. Click it and navigate to the endpoints, and let's have a look at it. What are the endpoints they are providing us? Look at here. You can search for hotels, and you can search for restaurants, you can search for attractions and nearby the beautiful attractions and flights and all those informations. Let's talk about the restaurants now. And if you wish to search using the latitude and longitude, you need to search in the list in boundary option. So that will take the latitude and longitude location of the map, and it will try to fetch the, and it will returns the informations which is in that particular boundary. Okay, so we are going to use this particular API in our project. Okay, so let's go ahead and look. Now project is now successfully created, and let me open that project in our Visual Studio Code Editor. Let me bring that Visual Studio in the screen. Okay, so here you can see that it's having all the necessary information: styles, public folder, pages folder. Inside the pages folder, Next.js is by predefinedly it's giving the API folder, and this is our main app which where it's loading all our child page props and everything, and this is the index file. Currently it's going to up and running. So let's go ahead and start our Next.js project. So npm run dev. This will run the development server, and it will fire the development server in the localhost 3001. So let's click it and open this in our localhost server. Look at that. This is our project currently, which is up and running perfectly. Okay, so now we are going to make few changes in it. I'm going to stop the server right now, and I'm going to make few alteration because we are going to install the Chakra UI, which we already opened in the browser. So what we need to do is, so click this, all this, we need to copy all these lines. So click here to copy and go to your Visual Studio Code and paste in your terminal. npm I Chakra UI React and emotion React and styled, and the framer motion for all the animation purposes. So click it. That will install all the necessary things which is required for this project. Along with that, we need to install few more services that once it gets successfully installed, we will install along with that. We need to install the Google Maps API to support the Google API services, and we need to use Axios. That is the package which is really useful for to get the request from our APIs and all those things. So let's clear the terminal screen over here. So now it's cleared, and let's clean up the project a little bit. What I'm going to do is, I don't need this style, so let me delete it delete it and clear everything inside this index.js. Clear everything, so we don't need anything inside that, and we need to go to app.js. I don't need this app.js over here. Delete it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to wrap this with the Chakra provider, this one, Chakra provider. So copy this line or just type it by yourself. Import Chakra provider. I'm going to wrap all my component into it. So let's say enter, open a bracket over there, and here what we are going to do is, we are going to open the Chakra provider, open it, and inside this we are going to keep all our components inside here. So this is a command. Save the changes like this. Open the bracket, component bracket. This is going to return a component. Inside that we are having this thing, Chakra provider. And what is this actually doing is this will wrap all the Chakra UI components and utility classes, everything in our particular application, so that we can use all the Chakra UIs in the our app component. So let's go to the index.js, and here in the index.js we are going to create a dummy. We are going to create the uh, our main component first. So what we are going to do is let's create the home screen and over here, and that is going to be our main home screen. So const home is equals an arrow 6 function, and this is going to return, for the time being I'm just returning an h1 tag, and that's going to say hello world, hello world, exclamation symbol, dot dot dot. Save the changes, and we should export this as a default application. Export the home screen. Okay, so now let's fire it up and make sure everything is working fine. Run developers window, open it. Now we should see our hello world information over there. Cool, it's working fine, guys. Look at that. We'll get our hello world over there. So it's working fine, perfectly, no issues. And let's go ahead and stop the server, and we need to install few more packages as I said. Okay, so let's install all the necessary packages what we need. Okay, so let me copy that necessary packages and paste it here, and you need to install all these necessary packages. So don't worry, I already dropped this packages in the description box, so go ahead and copy this command and paste it in the terminal, or just type it without any spelling mistake. We are going to use this Material UI lab, and you need to use this record Google Maps APIs, Axios, Google Map React, and React icons. These are all the necessary packages which we are going to use inside our project. Okay, so this React Google Maps API is for the autocomplete what we are having in our that local project, and this Axios which helps you to fetch the informations from the APIs, and this is for our map, and this is for the icon source. So enter it. This will install all the necessary packages in our application. Sorry. Okay, so let's it's get installed. It's taking a while more than usually. Let's wait when it gets done now, and then we'll start writing the coding. Come on. Cool. Now it's installed, so let's start run our development server. npm run development window. Okay, so now our server is up and running. Okay, so now let's create a new folder which we are going to maintain all the necessary components in our project. So right click our root folder and create a new folder called components, and inside this components I'm going to have a few component like header. It's going to have our all our header.js, all our navigation bar and all those details. So RAFC, and if you are wondering about what is that, RAFC is nothing but React snippets. You can go to the extension and search for ES67 React snippets, which is really comes handy whenever you're working with React projects. So go ahead and install that snippets, and here I'm just going to say for the time being header, save the changes. And inside here I'm going to create one more thing, list.jsx, same as RAFCE, and here I'm going to say list, and one more thing, that's map.jsx, RAFCE, and here type map, and one more thing, that's place detail.jsx, RAFCE, place detail, save the changes. So let me close everything for the time being. I don't need any of this, so keep it clean. We'll clean this. That's one also. Okay, So now let's go to the index.js over there and let's start creating all the necessary things. Okay, so first what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring all the components into it right above. So let me import all the components. So what I'm going to do is import uh, header, which is coming from our dot slash no double dot slash components slash header. Copy and paste it few more times, and this time it's going to be lists and map, and this is going to be place detail. Copy it and give it over here. So these are all the packages or components which we created and we already successfully imported over here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a flex box. So this is nothing but this is the flex box which is coming from your your Chakra UI, which is nothing but a flex box with a default flex properties and all those things. Okay, and inside this flex box, what we are going to do, we are going to load our header, list, and map. So let's load our header, and that's a self-closing tag. And right after here, we are loading our list. And right after here, I'm going to load my map. Save the changes. Now, if you have a look at it, you should see all the header and list and map, everything is loading in a single line because it's because of that um, flexbox container which we having in the flexbox. Okay, so that's powered by the Chakra UI. If you wish to see much more information, if you go ahead and the Chakra UI and search for flex, you can see all their properties and all the necessary utility classes what you need to use in their flexbox in their properties. Okay, so go ahead and spend your quality timing in it and go through all this document. Anyway, I'll explain it one by one what I'm going to write inside while the time whenever I'm writing it. Okay, so here first we need to add few more styles for it. So let's say justify the content everything in the center and align the items in the center, and we are going to fix the width is equals, and it's going to be 100 viewport width, and height it's going to be 100 viewport height, and maximum width it should use only the 100 viewport width, and the maximum height also going to be 100 viewport height. Okay, and I'm going to say position as a relative positions. Okay, so for the time being I'm just adding a background color so that you can see how it's affected. Let's say blue. Okay, so let's go ahead. See, this is how it's affected so far over here. Look at that, we're having all these informations in the center. Cool. Let's go ahead and remove the background color. We don't need that background color anymore. Okay, so now we are done with that, and now what we need to do is we need to configure the map. We need to load the map in our component over here. We need to load that map in our component. So let's finish that one and we will move on to that rest of the informations. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that first. Okay, then now what we need to do, we need to go to the map component, hold your control key and click that map component. That will opens the map component. Okay, now what we need to do is inside this first we need to create a division. Instead of this division, I'm going to use the Chakra UI, and what is that is nothing but box. Box is nothing but a kind of like a division in Chakra UI. Okay, and this should take the width full and height as well full. Okay, so this that map is literally going to be load completely in the main screen. Okay, that's what we are going to do now. And now what we are going to do here, um, let me hide these two informations because we don't need to display it for the time being right now. Okay, now everything is blank. That's good. Let's go back to the map, and here we need to load the map. So what we are going to do is we are going to load the map from the um what is it? We are going to use the Google Map React, which we installed. So let's import that. Import Google Map React, Google Map React from Google Map React. This is the package we are going to use. And here I'm going to open that and close it. And inside this, it's going to have quite a few properties inside it. Let's say, and it's going to use the bootstrap URL key, and time being it's going to be an empty key, and later I'll show you what you need to fill inside it. And default center, it's going to be we need to send the coordinates informations for it. So for the time being, let's say coordinates. Absolutely, this is not we created. We need to provide these informations, and we need to fetch the center, and center is also going to be the coordinates, and default zoom level of your map it's going to be 10, and the margin it's going to be 50 50 50 50 in all the corners. And options, for the time being I'm just going to leave the options as empty options. This options is nothing but that helps you to customize your map, what is the design you need for that map, what is the view you're going to use. And then on change event, and for the time being I'm just going to keep it as an empty callback function. Okay, and then on child click. So child click is nothing but inside, if you are clicking any element in the inside the map, this particular method will be triggered. And here for the time being I'm just going to create an empty callback function. Okay, so if you're saving these changes, absolutely we will get a bunch of errors because we don't have the coordinates and all those informations, keys, nothing is added up over here. So first what we are going to do is we are going to set the coordinates for the time being. Go to the index.js. Okay, and here I'm going to create a state. Use state snippet. So here I'm going to create the coordinates. Okay, and that coordinates it's going to be an object. For the time being I'm just loading latitude as 0 and longitude as 0. Okay, and this is going to be passed to your map.js. Coordinates equals set coordinates, and then coordinates is equals coordinates. Why? Oh, no comma. We are passing that set and the coordinates details to our maps.js. Let me copy this and I will replace it here, and let me open, and I will destructure that two informations over here, coordinates and set coordinates. So why I'm creating this state in my main app, because later we need the coordinates to change and to fetch all the informations from the Rapid API. For the best practice, you need to use the context, or you need to use the Redux to avoid the to create a multiple state and send it to all the child properties. That's the best practice to follow. But for the time being, to make it simple, I'm going to use the states in all the child components on all those things. So let's save it and let's go ahead, and here it's showing use state is not defined. Absolutely, we not yet defined it. So import that package from the React. Okay, cool. So now that's imported, and it's throwing an error like page cannot loaded, Google Map is not correctly loaded. It's all because we not yet provided the map key map key for our project over here. So what you need to do is you need to go to console.cloud.google.com. You need to go to that particular website, and don't worry, I'll give this link in the description box. Click it and go to that particular link, and here expand it. Currently I'm having all the projects over here, so you need to create a new project over here. And what you need to do is you need to give a name for it. So I'm just going to give travel advisor YouTube. Click create. Oops, I'm sorry, YouTube. So that will create that particular project over there. Okay, so then that will take a while, and you can go ahead and search for that project. Look at that, the project is created over here. Click it. Okay, and expand this tab. Here you can see this APIs and services. Click the APIs and services. Okay, and if you click the credentials, it's loading. If you click that credentials, so we need to create a new credentials for using the API keys and all those informations. So click the API key, and then this is our API key. So copy it. Okay, copy it, and then paste this API key in this exact location over here. You need to feed that API key over here. So here type key colon and pass that key over here. So this is not a best way to pass the all these the secured informations. Later I'll show you how to keep all your security informations in the environment variables and how to access those things. Okay, so for the time being, let it be there, and we need to install one more API key. Let's go to the library. So click the API services, and here you can see the library. Click the library and search for map API. Search it. It will provides you the map API. So here it's showing lots of map APIs, but we are going to use the map JavaScript API. Click it and enable it. Okay, so later we are going to use some places APIs to fetch the random places and all those things. So you need to enable the billing informations for your project. So to enable the billing informations, go ahead and click the billing informations, add your card details and all those things. And this will not charge you more than, because only if you cross their limit, they will charge as per your the usage. Okay, mostly it will be free only. Okay, so go ahead and enable that billing. For the time being, I'm just going to use my own project which is already added all the billing informations over there. I'm going to use that map.informations alone. So let me go ahead and click the credentials and copy that same credentials. For you, you can use that same credentials itself. For me, I'm just going to use this credentials which I'm having that billing informations on all those things. I will paste that credentials over there. Okay, so let me paste it properly. Okay, cool. So now let me paste it, and let me go ahead, and now if I refresh this, okay, so now you can see that our map is loaded perfectly. Look at that. it's loading perfectly. So it's initially it's loading from 0 longitude and latitude, so that's why it's showing that issue. But now our map is working perfectly because of our API, everything is configured. So now let's make our API key secured. So what you need to do is, let me collapse this, and now in the root folder I'll create one more file called .env file, environment file, and make sure that you added that environment file in your git ignore. So right after here add that .env file. So whenever you're deploying this code in the server or in your GitHub profile, this environment file will be ignored. Okay, so here I'm just going to create Google underscore map underscore API underscore key equals, I'll go ahead and copy this key from here, cut it, and I will paste it here. Save the changes, and instead of this I'm going to use process.env dot this API key. Save the changes, and to make sure that your environment variable to reload in your deployment server, development server, stop the server and rerun the server. And now go ahead and refresh it. It should work perfectly. We are getting some issues. Why? Here everything is fine. Let me close it and let me go to localhost 301. Come on, what happened? What is the issue we are facing? .env .process.env Google Map. Everything is perfect. Why? So let me remove this and let me add that API. Let me verify one more time. Refresh it. Okay, so this is working. So it's not accepting our environment variable. Why? Why you are not accepting? Process node.js.process. Okay, process.env environment. Yes, exactly. Dot Google API services to load all the .env file that is inside the root folder. Okay, so that's in the root folder only, or I need to keep it inside the pages folder. Let me keep it inside the pages folder. CLS, wait a second, let me check. Oh, come on, stop the server. CLS, let's rerun the server, open it once again, and now still I'm getting the error. Okay, so maybe it's because of the environment variable it's not accepting. Okay, we'll check on that issue later. For the time being, I'll just keep the informations as openly over here as it is. Okay, I don't know why for the time being it's showing this error, so we'll fix that error later, no issues. So now we just keep it as it is, and let's rerun the server, and this it's running our map perfectly. So our map it's loaded successfully, so we are good to go. From now, next what we need to do is we just need to configure our header and all those things. So that's what we are going to do next.